Well, not worried particularly. It just means we need to pay attention to it. You know, this scale goes from 0 to 10, 0 meaning there's virtually no chance of an impact, 10 meaning a climate-destroying, world-destroying sort of impact. Never seen anything like that since the dinosaurs, obviously. But there is a slight chance that this one could come by and hit us in 2032, as you said.
Scientists are closely watching a recently discovered asteroid that is being called a potential city killer.
That they are watching very closely. A newly detected asteroid. Experts now say it's got a small chance of impacting Earth. They've called it the 2024 YR4.
Asteroid 2024 YR4 has a 1% chance of hitting the Earth in December 2032.
We discovered this on December 27th of 2024. So it was very recent, and it was found by a telescope in Chile that is specifically designed to look for things near the Earth.
The asteroid, known as 2024 YR4, was first spotted December 27th by the El Salce Observatory in Chile.
Now, this is an animation. It was created from images captured on Christmas Day 2024 by a telescope in Chile. It was officially discovered 2 days later by scientists with the NASA-funded Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS. Then another team at JPL mapped out its future path, which gave it a 1% chance of impacting Earth on December 22nd, 2032. Now, that's a very rare for an asteroid of this size, but there's still a 99% chance it will not hit Earth at that time. And there's a 0% chance that it'll hit Earth on its next orbit in 2028.
Astronomers say based on its brightness, the asteroid is between 130 and 300 feet wide. So we have a handy graphic on your screen to compare. So the asteroid that struck Earth 66 million years ago and wiped out the dinosaurs, well, that one was just over 6 miles wide. For more, let's bring in CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood. Bill, good to see you. This asteroid is now rated a 3 out of 10 on the Torino Impact Hazard Scale.
What is the size of the asteroid? And if it's a big enough asteroid, I think the answer is we are not prepared. I mean, we have seen movies like Armageddon where, Bruce Willis goes and puts a nuclear bomb and blows up the asteroid. It doesn't work because, see, the momentum of the asteroid is still coming towards Earth. If you disintegrate it, there will be many bodies that will still be coming into Earth.
NASA thinks this thing is up to 300 feet wide. That is end zone to end zone, the size of a football field, just so you know. It has more than a 1% chance of colliding with our home planet, they say, in about 8 years or so. So I want to show you where it is right now. The black circle you're seeing right here, that is the asteroid's orbit. And the good news is it's going away from Earth. So it's going to take the long way around. According to the Center for Near Earth Object Studies, they say this asteroid right now is about 30 million miles away, traveling, again, outbound, so away from the sun, around the sun, and it'll return to Earth's neighborhood in 2028. Let's show you, though, the asteroid's uncertainty region. The blue axis is really the question mark line. So that is where we can see it's going to get really close to Earth, and that's why they're a little concerned. If we want to give you data for it, experts say it's a 1.6% chance that these two intersect, the asteroid and Earth. When? December 2032. Scientists say they're not panicking yet, but they are watching it closely.
The tracking is not very precise yet. They'll get another chance to really nail down the orbit when it comes back by Earth in 2028. And by that point, hopefully, the numbers will show that there's 0 chance of hitting the Earth. But right now, they're certainly paying attention to it. They want to make sure they can nail down this orbit in time to do something if necessary.
I don't like talking doomsday, but if this asteroid were to strike Earth in 7 years, where could it hit? How much damage could it do?
Well, we don't know where it could hit yet because the trajectory is really not nearly well defined enough to make a prediction like that. But the kind of impacts we're talking about with a body of this size and its possible composition, back in 1908, an asteroid hit western or eastern Siberia and leveled like 830 square miles of forest. So it's a big deal. If something like that came down in a populated area, on a big city, for example, it would be truly catastrophic. But it would be a local catastrophe. It wouldn't be something like the rock that killed the dinosaurs. It wouldn't affect the global climate, but it would certainly be a disaster of epic proportions. So we're all hoping that doesn't happen.
It's currently moving away from the planet, but will return in 2028. And a possible impact cannot yet be entirely ruled out. That's why, since it was first identified as a threat in December of last year, it's being closely monitored by the European Space Agency.
Let me tell you, the most likely scenario is that by the time we lose sight of the object in April this year, the impact probabilities will have lowered enough not to worry about this object anymore. However, there are still some small chances that it will remain in our risk list, and when we come back, when it will come back in 2028 and we reobserve it, at that time, it will have been so much time enough for us to determine whether, let's say, it will be impacting or not completely. So it will be a 0 or 100%.
Although the density and makeup of the asteroid is not yet known, it's estimated to be travelling at around 15 times the speed of a high-velocity bullet.
The difficulty is that when you find something in the sky that's moving, you have to work out from where it sits on the sky what its actual orbit in the solar system is. And that, although we understand the physics of how bodies move through that, our measurements of the positions are not precise. They have uncertainties with them.
To better understand this new asteroid, 2024 YR4, we look to the Torino scale. It was invented to categorize the threat posed by asteroids by combining the probability of impact with the amount of damage it could cause. The scale goes from 0 to 10, with a 0 or 1 being nothing to worry about, but anything higher warrants monitoring.
This one has reached a Torino number of 3, which is in the sort of general category of, hey, astronomers, pay attention to this. It's not in the, we have to get worried, we have to get Bruce Willis on his spacecraft to go up. It's, we just need more information.
Back in 2004, an asteroid called Apophis topped out at 4 on the Torino scale before it was ruled out as a threat and dropped to 0. Then, a different asteroid in 2006 briefly rose to a 2 before falling back to 0. This new asteroid is only the third one since the creation of the Torino scale in the 90s to attain a rating higher than 1.
The James Webb Space Telescope has been tasked to look at it to try to help understand how big it is. One of the biggest uncertainties is how big it is. It could be anywhere from 100 feet in diameter to 300 feet, and that's a big difference when it comes to, you know, how potentially damaging it could be.
For comparison, the asteroid that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs was much larger, at 6 to 9 miles in diameter. This new one is similar in size to the Tunguska event.
The probability is 2% that it could hit in 2032. And that sounds scary, like, oh, 2%. But you have to flip that around, and that means 98% probability that it is not going to hit, right? So that's the number you really want to think about.
If by chance this asteroid does make impact, it would most likely do so somewhere along the equator.
As of January 29th, the European Space Agency estimates the probability that the asteroid will hit Earth on the 22nd of December 2032 to be 1.2%. Scientists are set to meet to discuss Earth's response if the asteroid's impact probability remains above the 1% threshold, which could include crashing a spacecraft into it to deflect it off course.